Hi guys, welcome back to my channel called Determined to Praise. My name is Anasia. First I want to ask you guys how you guys doing? How's your week been going? How is it getting back into the flow of kids going back to school? This is the second week, so is your week better? Is it more hectic? How is it going? I know for me, this week was a lot smoother, but also a little difficult because those of you who know my son Lamar, he was recently, well, he's been in a medical daycare since he was 2 months, but I decided to transfer him into pretty much a special needs school. They have like preschool, kindergarten, first grade, and he'll pretty much be there until he's 21. Well, not with my faith, he won't be there till he's 21, but you can be there until you're 21. But today was his first day, so he was on an actual school bus, and he went with his own personal nurse. So it was very fun and exciting, but very nerve-wracking. Like, my heart was beating so fast watching him get on the bus and leave. And he was very calm. He just was like, what's happening? Like, he could tell it was something different going on. He just couldn't figure out what it was, but he looked okay. So I'm happy with that. And I like the nurse, so I'm happy with that as well. So can't wait for him to get home and just see how his first day went, and see papers and different things. But my baby's in preschool. This is crazy. So today I want to talk about love. Um, as you know, followers of Christ, our job is to love, and it's definitely not an easy thing to do. I feel like out of everything God wants us to do, that's probably the hardest thing. That's just my opinion. Because a lot of times we let our feelings and emotions get in the way, and it stops us from being able to love. And it's not an easy thing, but I feel like it's definitely possible. It depends on how you think about it and how you look at the situation. If you look at the situation as, this person did something to me, so I'm not doing this for them, and I'm not doing that for them because they don't deserve it, then yeah, it's going to be very, very hard. But if you look at it in the sense of, you know what, I mess up so much and I'm such an unworthy person, and God really, I don't deserve any of God's grace or mercy or his love, but there he is loving me unconditionally through everything. So who am I to say someone else doesn't deserve my love or doesn't deserve grace from me? Who am I to decide that? Like, seriously, if we think about where we would be if God didn't love us through everything, if God didn't care enough to forgive us, like, where would we be? What would happen to us? Who's to say that? Like, we're in no position to say who is and who does and doesn't deserve forgiveness or love or peace or happiness, because at one point we were that same person. At one point we didn't care. At one point we were selfish. At one point we were rude. So we don't get to dictate or determine how to treat people based off of what they've done, because God doesn't do that. Like, we have to be able to love people even when we may not be okay or happy with loving them. We have to, because that's the difference. Like, that's how you show that you're a follower of Christ, by being like Christ, by loving. And God loved, like Jesus loved. He would let Judas follow him, and he knew already what Judas was going to do. How many of us would do that? Would go, yeah, you know what, this person gonna betray me later. I know they are, but you know what? Come on, yeah, I got some things to show you anyway. I'm in love and care for you anyway, even though I know you're going to be the very cause of something very traumatic later. I'm gonna still sit here and love you. Who would do that? Nobody. Nobody. Who's going to send their son, their only son, to go and die for people who are eventually years later down the line may not even care about the sacrifice that you made? Who would do that? Nobody. But God did it. And Jesus loved us enough to get up there and die on that cross, because he felt like we were worth it. He knew we were worth it. He loved us enough. So now we have to take that same love and spread it around the world and give it to people, whether we feel as though they deserve it or not. So I wrote down the definition for love, and it says a strong affection for another arise. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Strong affection for another, arising out of kinship or personal ties. I also wrote down a couple of Bible scriptures. So the first one I wrote down is John 15:12. My commandment is this: love each other as I have loved you. Love each other as God loves us. Very, again, very, very hard thing to do when you think about it from what they've done to you instead of thinking about how do I show that I'm following Christ? How do I be an example of Christ? How do I do the things He's called me to do? And you do those things through love. You do those things by giving love, showing love, even when you don't feel like it. You do it anyway. Even when you're not in the best mood, even when you know that person may not even appreciate what you did. They may not even care that you've done it, but you do it anyway because that's what Christ is. He loves regardless. Um, the second one I wrote down is do others as you would have them do to you. That's Luke 6:31. And Corinthians 6:14, I have do everything in love. So it's kind of all pretty much the same thing. It's about loving, and no one said it was easy. No one said it would be easy. But to be a true example of him, that's the number one thing that you have to do is be able to love. Be able to love. And I feel like the more you're able to give love, like the more you can look past how you feel and love a person anyway, the easier it becomes. The more it'll become natural, and it'll just be a part of what you do. It'll just become you. It'll just become you. And it's okay if you're not always in the mood to do it, if you're not always happy about it. I feel like you have to always be honest about how you feel and what's going on, and I feel like the more you go to God and say, look, God, I want to love the way that you love. I want to do this the way that you want me to do it. But I need you to help me. I need you to help me to forget about my own pain and my own past and how I feel. I need you to help me look past emotions and love this person or do this for that person or be this for that person, and to be able to do that. And I feel like it comes with being honest and about being true to how you feel. And that's how you're able to get past it, when you're able to be honest. Now when you sit here and you're just lying, you go, yes, I love this person, I'm gonna be there, and it's like God, because you have to remember God knows our heart, so He knows when you're doing things out of the right intention and when you're not doing things out of the right intention. So there's no sense of even wasting your time or anyone else's time, you know um and I'm not saying you can't be upset when you do the things. What I'm saying is that try to just think of God when you do it. Try to think of Christ. Try to think, if He was here with us, watching us and what we're doing and how we're treating people, how would He feel about what you're doing? Well, let me rephrase that. Of course, He sees everything that we're doing, but think about that when you're. That's what I meant. Think about that when you're conversating with people and you're talking with people and you're doing things, and when you're not in such a great mood and you're just being very rude to people. Think about how that makes God feel when He sees you mistreating somebody or being rude to somebody because you felt like they didn't deserve you to be kind, or you weren't in the mood to be kind, so now you're rude to people. How do you think that makes the Father feel? That's not really showing a true example. You have to remember that the way people look at us, right, that's being Christians and followers of Christ, when people look at you, they should see God, right? They should see Christ. They should see a light shining that's just so beautiful. Like, oh my God, they're just such a nice human being. Like, they're just nice to everybody. They're just sweet. Like, I think they're so nice. Like, people have feel that. You can your aura, your vibes, your spirit. People can feel that and can sense that. But if you're walking around saying that you're a child of God and you're Christ-like, but you're just being mean and nasty to people, that's not going to rub off on anyone and make them want to be Christian or make them want to follow God, because they're going to be like, well, they go around saying this, and that, but their attitude they're just very mean. Like, they were very rude. And you don't want to rub that off on people. And it's not always about what people think, because people are going to have opinions anyway. But the truth of the matter is, we have to be honest about what we're doing and how we're representing God, and we want to represent Him in the right way so that people can see and go, wow, so this is what God is about. This is what Christ is about. I want to experience this. I want to feel this. I want to be able to share this with others. You want them to be able to see and feel the love so that they can have it and they can share it with others. You don't want to make them feel um like they're unworthy or irrelevant because you don't feel like they're Christ-like, or you don't feel like they're a good person, or whatever. You don't want to give off that spirit, that vibe to people. Um, and I have two more that I wrote down. This one is 1 John 4:7-12. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his only Son into the world that we might live through him. So again, love is God. God is love. Love comes from him. So in order to even give love in the first place, you have to talk with God, communicate with God, and allow him to love on you and allow him to pour into you. And so now you can pour out to others and now you can give love to others. It's a very complicated thing to do when you don't really have much of a relationship with him, because I feel like the more you understand God, the more that God creates space in your life and in your heart, the more he gives love and the more you feel the love and the more you can give it away. It's very hard to love people from one of those rough places that you're in, one of those angry places that you're in. It's hard to give something that you don't have. If you don't have the love, then you can't give it away. So again, like I said, be honest with how you feel and just let God know, like, I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do that, but I'm angry, or I want to do this, but I'm mad, and I don't know how to forgive this, and I want to let it go, but I need help. So show me what to do, tell me what to do. Be honest about how you feel and share that with God so that he can help you deal with the situation and help you to heal and help you to love and help you to forgive so that you can share it and spread it with the world. And the last one I wrote down. This one is a doozy. I love this one because it really gives you such a great picture and example of what love is. And don't let it discourage you, because that's kind of what it does to me sometimes, because we read it and it's like, I do all those things. But just be honest about how you feel. Be truthful with it. And it kind of, I feel like it's just a perfect example on how to love people. So I'm going to read it. It says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong of it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. That's First Corinthians 13, verse 4 through 7. Now, first, I'm pretty sure all of you, I'm sure we can pick out at least three of these things that we probably do. Some of us probably do all of them. It happens. We're human beings. We mess up. The point is to read it and learn from it, to read it and ask God to help you be like this, to help you do better, because we're all imperfect human beings. There's nothing perfect about us. But the more we go to God, the more we allow him to pour into us, the more we surrender to his will and not to our own will, the more we have an understanding, the more we can follow him, the more we can trust him, the more we can learn to love like him. So it starts from you building a relationship with him. And the more you do that, the more of an understanding you have, the more you're able to do the things that he's called us to do. And no, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have days where you're going to be like, look, Lord, I ain't trying to love today. I'm mad, or I'm upset, or I'm this, I'm frustrated. It happens. But you just try every day to be better. Try each day to be better than you were the last day. If we're going to fall short, it happens. That's just a given. But we can love like Christ love. It's possible. We can do it as long as we have God with us, because he's the one who gives us the strength to be able to do these things in the first place. So love is patient, love is kind, it does not boast, it's not proud. Whew, it does not easily anger. I struggle with that one really bad. But it's the truth, and we can't deal with ourselves or get help if we're not able to be honest about the things that we deal with in the first place. It's not always fun saying your flaws out loud, but God knows anyway. So why not sit down and share with him and talk with him and ask him to help us to deal with things that we struggle with? It's the only way that we're going to get better is when you're honest about how you feel. So love, love is the most important commandment that God wanted us to be able to do. Love. Because when you start with love, everything else falls into place. You don't have to worry about forgiving or kindness, because that's all love. It all streams from love. And no, it's not going to be easy. Yes, some days you're not going to want to love, but if it's what God asks us to do, and if God can love us, if God can forgive us, if God can be there for us, if God can still have grace and mercy for us, even though each day we get up and we sin, each day we get up and we fall short, each day we get up and we're unworthy of what He's called us to do. But there He is still with love. So if God can love us, then why can't we love others? If God can forgive us, then why can't we forgive others? We're not the ones in control. We're not the ones who get to make that decision or get to judge people based off of their past mistakes, their past issues. Who are we? Their past sins. Who are we? Because look at our past. Our past isn't any better than theirs. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to love people anyway. Love and be kind to people. Forget your feelings and emotions. Forget how you feel. Forget what that person did, and just thank God loved me anyway. So now let me love them anyway. I'm really not even in the greatest mood to do this, but I know this is what God asked me to do, so I'm going to love them anyway. Love them anyway. Love them anyway. I pray that this message is encouraging. I pray that it helps somebody. I pray that you guys just really, really keep in mind that it's all for God. It's all for God. It's all for God. There's nothing else. There's no man. There's no woman. It's all for God. And if you can go from that, if you can go from I'm going to do this for God, then you can't lose. You'll always have the right mindset and stay focused. So keep your eyes fixated on God. Stay focused on Him and the things of God. And you'll be able to love. You'll be able to give love and show love and be an example of Christ. So please stay encouraged. Don't be afraid to put aside your feelings and your emotions or what you think other people are thinking because you're kind to someone. Because other people can definitely influence you. And you're going to be nice to that person after they did da 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 to you. I am, because that's what God asked me to do. So I'm not worried about you, what you're thinking, or how you feel. I have to do what God called me to do. And God called me to love these people. So I'm going to love these people, whether I feel like it or not, because this is what God asked me to do. And you have to keep that mindset. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Love. Love. I don't care. Love. 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 Because that's what God called us to do. That's what He needs you to do. Love. Love the same way the people who loved you were there. We wouldn't make it without some of these people who got put in our corner that loved us. We wouldn't make it without God being in our corner loving us. So you give that same love to everyone else, regardless of what it looks like or what it feels like, because that's what God asks us to do. So please stay encouraged. Please, just stay focused on God. Don't lose focus. Don't lose the faith. Keep on pushing. Keep going. And love. Do everything out of love. So I pray that you guys stay encouraged. I pray that you guys enjoyed this message. Please continue to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Uh, please comment. Like I said, ideas, anything that you would like me to talk about. And for those of you who would like to share a testimony, please comment or inbox me on Facebook, or you can email me. The email would be um, posted in the comment section in the description. And have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. I pray that you just stay continue stay encouraged and keep your eyes fixed on God. Bye.